got into dentistry and why I got into dentistry. For me, it's a very specific moment in time. I was about 15 and on vacation to visit my brother in Washington, D.C., or headed to visit him. And on the plane, when it was descending, I got a toothache, and I had never had a toothache in my life. And it just was crazy. I have never felt that kind of pain. And so my brother tried to do many things within the first day to kind of get the pain to go away or to see if it'll reside, and it just wouldn't reside. And it was just, aspirin, warm towel, cold towel, basketball, and nothing. And so he finally, I guess, felt it was a real problem and took me in to visit a dentist. And the assistant took me into one room and started nitrous. And then I went into the other room, and the dentist started to numb me up, and then started to drill because I had a couple cavities. And while she was drilling, I wasn't feeling anything. And in that moment, I recognized the difference between what I felt on that plane and what I was feeling in that moment. And I said, if you can take away that pain, I want to do what you do. And so that was really kind of the moment when, I really felt the impact that you can have in someone's life as a dentist. As a 15, I didn't process it as much. I'm processing it now, but it was that click, and I really did say to myself, I want to do what this person does. I don't remember her name. I wish I could. I would love to connect and tell her that story. But that was really what got me into it. And so I went to Morgan, as Ms. Battle said, partly to get away from home, and also have a safety net because my brother was in DC, as I said. So that was a good choice for me. It was really great to be at Morgan. I really now appreciate the community, and I don't know if anybody knows Cecil Payton, but that was the chairman at the time that I was there. And just loved Dr. Payton and other faculty, Lucia Hawthorne, and I think in the speech language area, and just others who just kind of made a huge impression on my life and helped me along the way. Pledged Omega while I was there, so I have a host of fraternity brothers, and things like that. And so Morgan just was really good. A couple of things that I was exposed to while I was at Morgan was an externship with Smith, Kline & French, which is now Glaxo, which gave me some research experience. There was another program that was going on. It was an HCOP program at University of Maryland. And this was a really pivotal program for me because it exposed me to dentistry, but as a part of it was a visit into an office, and you would visit a dentist and just kind of observe, and they would tell you about the profession. And it was a dentist by the name of Gladstone Davis, and that was just great. And I even continued to go over there afterwards, and I've seen him for years and years at National Dental Association conferences. He's just one of the pivotal people in my life, and mentoring, and those experiences and those relationships have been just invaluable to me getting to where I'm going. Fast forward, got into dental school at Michigan, decided in my second year that I wanted to be in academics, and then through several conversations, began a journey which one landed me in Iowa. And it's kind of strange to have a Detroit boy in Iowa. And that was quite an experience for me. And then I went back to Maryland, and I taught for about 17 years. And proud to say that one of my students is the other person who's going to be talking to you tonight. So Dr. Darwin was one of my students when I was at Maryland. And so after there, I went to East Carolina for a few years, and I've been here now for about almost going on 9 years now. So it's a lot of stuff that I just kind of swooshed over, not to get a glaze on your eyes, but I think as we kind of go into some questions, some of those things will kind of come up, some of those other experiences. So that's kind of how I got there, and a little bit of kind of leapfrogging to how I got to where I'm at now.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now I'll introduce Dr. Hayes. So give me 1 second. Okay. So Dr. Darwin Hayes is the recently appointed State Dental Director for New Jersey. Dr. Hayes serves as the Department of Health Commissioner's designee to the New Jersey State Board of Dentistry at the Department of Community Affairs. He also serves as the state's lead representative in the Association of State and Territorial Dental Directors and is the official liaison with the New Jersey State Dental Association and Rutgers School of Dental Medicine. He is a graduate from the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. So thank you very much, Dr. Hayes, for being here tonight with our students and sharing your experience. Just share a bit about your journey and why you selected dentistry, your experience in undergrad, and then we'll get into some questions from our students.
Well, first of all, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, I see some people there. I see Anana. Anaya. I see Kennedy. I see Angela and some other people. So thank you all, Ms. Battle, for having us tonight. Just real briefly, shout out to Dr. Keith Mays, who's not only was an instructor of mine, as he stated, but also my fraternity brother, and also one of my brothers in crime as we continue to move the needle forward here in oral health for folks that look like us, like all of us on the call tonight. So special shout out to him as well. My journey to dentistry was totally different than what you're going to hear from others and what you've heard from Dr. Mays and probably from Dr. Messiah, and also from Dr. Howell, Dr. Roxanne, when she comes on. I was a non-traditional dental student, meaning I did not have a science major. No biology, no chemistry, no organic, no physiology, none of that. I was an architect major. And only through the grace of God was I able to navigate, once I figured out that I wanted to do dentistry, to navigate what many of you are navigating right now in your pre-dental curriculum. So my undergrad experience was totally different. It was strictly architecture. I did not have any science classes except for physics. And so that meant once I graduated undergrad from the University of Virginia, and once I determined that I wanted to pursue dentistry, I had to go back and take some classes that I had not taken before. Yes, biology, yes, chemistry, yes, organic, while working full-time, 40 hours a week. That's a whole nother story. But once I made that decision, I was applied to several schools. Luckily, at the time, University of Maryland was one of the schools that did not require organic chemistry. I don't think you guys have that option now. But so when I got that acceptance letter, and they said yes, I was very happy. But also my exposure to dentistry came from my uncle, who's a dentist. My mom's brother's a dentist who went to Meharry. And about 30 years ago, right when I graduated from dental school, I found pictures of me at his graduation at Meharry. I think I was like 2 or 3 years old. And it was so great, especially since he was the one that hooded me when I went up on the graduation stage to get my diploma. He hooded me. So it was a great full circle moment. But I realized that not everyone has that, maybe that type of connection with someone, especially a family member that's in the profession. Again, I had already graduated from undergrad, was working in DC for maybe about 3 or 4 years before I even decided that I was going to go into dentistry. So I was kind of late into knowing that I wanted to pursue a career in oral health. So that's a little bit about my background and how I first got into dentistry. I know many of you may have some people that you know, whether they're recent grads of Morgan that maybe are in dental school now, or maybe you don't have people that you know and you're kind of pursuing this for the first time by yourself. So hopefully tonight will be the beginning of helping you all and guiding you through this this journey and this process, because it is a process and it's not fun and it's not fair, but it is doable. So thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Hayes. We'll open up the floor now to any students who may have questions. As I said, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, or you can drop it in the chat.
May I introduce myself, Ms. Battle?
Yeah,
sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Dr. Sean Messiah. I am Guyanese by birth. I came to the United States when I was 17. I went to Stony Brook University in Long Island, 20 to 24, and then I went to Rutgers Dental School, 24 to 28. Met Dr. Hayes in 1996, and we were both in the USNDA. So we've been friends since then. Over 26 years now. I have my own private practice on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I've had it over 20 years, and I am excited to be of help or support for the PreDental Society as you young people move forward in your journey.
Awesome, thank you very much. All right, let's see. So someone asks, is it beneficial to take biology pre-med instead of general biology? So at Morgan State University, we have the pre-professional track, which is really for students who are going into medical school. And then there's a general track. So should students take the pre-med track or general biology?
I would say that the pre-med track would be what I would advise. I think, as Dr. Hayes mentioned, it's not easy. And so I know for me, I struggle with some of the didactic components. And a big reason is because when I was at Morgan, we did blue books. And when you get to dental school, typically the exams are multiple choice. And at that time when I was in school, and we no longer do that, we call it cruel and unusual punishment, but it was multiple K kind of questions, like 9 different choices. And it was like A and B, A, B and C, D and B, and you had to figure it out. And so what it was about was a lot of memorization, quick memorization. And I didn't get a chance to study and write down things in the same fashion. So I think having some advanced knowledge in a course like pre-med biology, I think will be beneficial to you. So that would be my advice.
Awesome, thank you. Someone else, Joviana, hope I pronounced your name correctly. Does having a minor in chemistry or physics give you an advantage when going to dental school?
Now, real quick, I want to kick off at the answers to that question. When you say give you an advantage, what do you mean, Joviana? What specifically are you thinking about? Joviana,
you can come off mute if need be, or put it in the chat. I can unmute you. Let me see.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone who's on here, on the camera or not on camera, guys, remember this information, this session is for you all. Mm-hmm. So please engage yourself, turn your cameras on. People have spent time out of their schedules, away from family, after work, to come and support, and most importantly, give you some advice and some feedback. So be respectful and come on camera, ask your questions. This is an interactive session. It's supposed to be that way. And This is a step forward to getting you closer to your dreams. So please interact, ask questions, put your hand up when you're ready to answer or ask a question, because this time is for you. Okay, thanks.
Okay, my name is Joviana. So I was told that it would be more beneficial to me if I have a minor in chemistry, especially when applying for dental school. So I just wanted to know if that's true or if I should just focus on bio.
Who told you that?
Yeah, don't worry.
then-
Don't let them throw you. Don't throw anybody under the bus.
No, I mean,
But,
I don't know if it was
but
an
I think the
advisor,
question,
was another
yeah,
student, someone
yeah,
who applied
yeah.
to dental school. Like, having that reference is great, but not without being able to contextualize it. It's hard to determine whether that's good advice or not. Because at the end of the day, guess what? Whether you're a chemistry major or you're a physics major, minor, Spanish, whatever, at some point, guess what you got to do? You got to take the DAT. And you got to have a great GPA, whether it's your minor, your major, etc. So if you pick a minor, and if you have a major and you have a minor, still realize that it should be supporting you with your next step, because part of that next step is preparing and taking the DAT. Dental schools don't care if you're a minor with chemistry or physics or whatever. They're looking for your GPA, and you were also looking for how you your grades and how you tested on the DAT.
I would add to that what Dr. Hayes kind of mentioned is like who asked the question, who gave you the advice. One of the things that's available to interviews when you're in the application process, a lot of admissions directors and deans or whatever their title is, are their office or themselves are really ready to engage and answer questions. And so typically what you can do is you can say, here are my credentials. Is there anything I can do to make my chances better, right? And so the point really is why you want to have a chemistry major. I mean, if there's a real answer to the why, then yes, but it's not going to per se make you stronger just because you did it. It may help you from a standpoint of knowledge. And if you say I want to be able to be stronger in chemistry for classes, then that's different, or research, then that's different. But it's at the end of the day, it's you can have individuals who have really, really stellar grades and still not get in school, because what is important is your whole self. And so people are interested in what you do for people. Did you do research? Do you present as a good person? Do you have reasonable interpersonal skills? All these other things that are not necessarily just about the grade. So you have to make the grade. And the main reason why you have to make the grade is because you have to survive dental school. I mean, you've got to survive the didactics and examination for dental school. But Dr. Masai sits in his office, and one of the main things that he has to do every day is deal with people. And so you have to have those interpersonal skills. And that's why we really want to know the individuals, that you're a well-rounded person. So, if you have 3 or 4 degrees, it doesn't necessarily give you an added advantage. It's not an automatic check button that, oh yeah, we want this person because of that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hayes and Dr. Mays. So we have a couple of hands. We have 4 hands raised, and I'm going to call the names in terms of the order, so students remember your questions. So first we'll go with Kennedy, then Malaysia, Angela, and I'm assuming this is Kelly from the PreDent Society's email.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kennedy Sullivan. I am a senior chemistry major here at Morgan State University. My question would be, how do you feel about studying for your DAT, and what advice would you give to dental students?
I'll kick it off. I mean, my advice is, if you can, do Kaplan. So it's it's an added advantage. There are a lot of people who are doing it, and you want to kind of be on the level playing field. And so it just gives you an opportunity to understand what the test looks like, how it feels like. You get an opportunity to practice the examinations. And so if there's any way to kind of do that, then I would do that. It's a very different test. And I think you definitely want to have some kind of practice test. So, and if you can't do Kaplan, you need to figure out how to get a practice test and to go over those questions and to know just kind of what those questions feel like. It's not going to be an exam that's similar to your normal bio or chemistry exam that you take midterms and finals. And so you really want to kind of get a different feel of how that exam is kind of administered.
So I'm going to add on. So Kennedy, have you taken the DAT yet?
No, I take it this semester.
This semester. So that means the next 2 months.
Yep.
Yep. So Kaplan, oh God, now I'm dating myself. Back in the day, Kaplan was like the only DAT prep course that was out there. It's before I had all this gray hair, me and Dr. Mays, before we had all this gray hair and stuff. But guess what? There are probably about 4 other ones that are very, very popular and beneficial that PreDental students who have taken the DAT, one of which is on this call right now, future student Dr. Isaiah Lewis, they love and swear by, right? DAT boot camp is one. Another one is DAT Destroyer
And
is
DAT
another.
booster.
And Booster. Now, I'm going to make this statement. Everything's not for everybody. Everybody's not for everything. Meaning, if you ask 3 or 4 different PreDental students which program they took, they may tell you 4 different things. All 4 of them may have taken a different one. Or some people will say that I've took DAT Destroyer for the PAT, the perceptual ability, and then I did Booster for the science, especially for organic and for this and for that, meaning that many current dental students who have taken the DAT and gotten into dental school have stated over the years that some of them have combined the use of different programs to help them based on where they are currently and who they are as a student and how they learn, right? But at the end of the day, you must do one of these prep courses. You must do practice exams over. Did I say over? Over and over and over and over again. You want to put yourself and stimulate yourself in the environment that you're going to be taking the test, and everything is online and digital. Again, when Dr. Mays and Dr. Messiah and I took it, it was a piece of paper and a bubble, and you had to fill in the bubble, and you couldn't fill out the bubble too much because that means it's wrong. I mean, everything's online now. So you want to take these practice exams as much as possible, but also in the environment and how you're going to take it. The number one thing that many dental students, current dental students, have shared with me over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been talking to them, over 4 or 5 years, talking to them about how they prepared for the DAT. All of them will say practice exams, so that you can not only simulate the environment, but also understand why you got something wrong, or why there 3 out of the 5 choices all look alike, except for 1 or 2 words, or how the words are placed in a sentence. All to go back to the fact that you must invest in taking a DAT preparation course. If you got a birthday coming up, if you've got holidays coming up, tell people to give you a gift card, give you some money so that you can enroll and take one of these courses. The courses can run anywhere from $200 to $800 depending on the different packages that you have. I would strongly recommend, as a pre-dental society, that you all consider, as for your, maybe a benefit for your members, that somebody get going and buy a couple of these boot camps or these practice exams and these DAT prep courses, and share them amongst those that are rotating and getting ready to prepare to take the exam each and every semester or every year, and let that be like a library that you all have created for yourselves, called DAT Prep. And also, I think it might be helpful, since Isaiah Lewis is on the call. He has recently taken the DAT, and he can shed some more light about that too. Is that okay?
Yeah. How you doing, everybody? Thank you, Dr. Hayes, Dr. Mays, and Dr. Masai for taking the time to meet with us today. I guess I took the DAT in January, and I used DAT Booster, and I stuck to the 10-week study schedule verbatim. It gave me everything I needed to be successful and take it one time. During that time, I didn't work, so there were sacrifices that came with that as well. But studying for the DAT was my main priority. I already graduated from school. I think having the DAT as the main thing that I was doing for those 10 weeks definitely played a significant role in me being able to score well my first time taking it. So yeah, practice tests were really important. And I think what practice tests allowed me to do was get the timing right. So, because on each section, there's a specific amount of time that you have, and you kind of have to know how much time you can spend per question on each section. And taking multiple practice exams kind of helped me perfect being able to keep track of my time. So, and as I got better with that, my practice scores started going up.
Awesome. Thank you. And students, just so that you know, in my office in Key Hall 168, I do have some DAT books. I'm ordering some more as well. So I have the Destroyer, Booster, and Kaplan, and we are ordering some more. There will be a checkout process though, because you have to return the books, right? Because we have to spread it around a large number of you all. But just know that we will have all the books here. Well, not all the books, but we'll have some books available for you to borrow so you can study for your DAT.
Okay, and hopefully those practice tests too. Those practice tests, if you can get them.
I'm working on those.
Yeah.
Who was next? Malaysia.
Hello, my name is Malaysia, and this question is for Dr. Hayes. So I'm a freshman, and I'm currently a psychology major, and I'm thinking about switching to biology. So I just wanted some advice on how hard was the transition, and do you regret, your architecture? Do you regret doing that, or would you have rather just, did the biology and stuff courses?
Hey, Malaysia, thanks for the question. You know what? Quite honestly, I don't think I would have done it any other way, because going into college, I was not even thinking about medicine and dentistry. Right. I mean, I had one experience. Maybe I think I was maybe in the 7th grade. There was an introduction to health professions up in Newark at Rutgers, where you got a chance for like 2 days to go to the dental school, medical school, and put on scrubs and go to the OR and all that kind of stuff. But outside of that, 6-7 years later, I was into architecture. So I wouldn't have changed. I mean, even knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have changed my undergrad major. However, now that you have an idea that, you want to do dentistry and want to pursue the career, I will tell you that you will need that foundation and those basic sciences, right? You will need that foundation to prepare yourself for the DAT. Also, to prepare yourself for the rigors of the first year of dental school, which very soon. Hopefully, future student doctor Isaiah Lewis will be able to come back and tell you about, because it don't for many people who were science majors, and Dr. Messiah knows this too. Classmates that were science majors, biology, chemistry, that first week of dental school, it's like pushing the reset button, starting all over again. People crying, upset, they didn't do well on the exam. They don't I mean, the pace and the amount of material that you get the first month of anatomy and physiology, it really didn't even make a difference if you were a biology or chemistry major at all. They were beating up on everybody. So knowing what I know now, you know that you want to do dentistry.
Yeah.
You. I mean, it's not that you can't have sociology as a minor or something similar to that, because you will need to deal with people, and some of that is not taught in dental school, but your success and how you help people will be determined on how you communicate and how you kind of analyze and know why people say or feel a certain way when you're providing that care. So maybe there's an opportunity for you, if there was a reason why you picked sociology, for, that you really liked exploring some of those aspects, there may be an opportunity for you to continue it as a minor, but still, or vice versa. Maybe biology or chemistry or something is a minor. But I will tell you, at some point, and this is for Miss Battle too, at some point, I think it would be very helpful for not only you, but also other folks in the society to connect with the current USNDA at the University of Maryland. There's probably about 80 students right now at that school that look like us, that have all gone through what you all are going through right now, and making those decisions about majors, applying to schools, taking the DAT. Those individuals are going to be some of the greatest and best resources for you related to where you are currently at Morgan as well.
Okay, thank you.
Malaysia, so you know where to find the change of major form, correct? It's on the records registration website.
I just gotta get over the fear of starting something new. But once I get over that, I'm gonna take it.
Malaysia, you're gonna be starting stuff new for your whole entire life. So this is nothing.
Right.
This is nothing. But you're not really starting something. You're just adding on to what you started, right? But I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some time to self-reflect.
So next we have Angela. And then Kelly, you'll be next.
Hello. I'm sorry, my camera is not working. But yeah, my name is Angela Viegla. I'm a junior at Morgan State. I am currently majoring in biology. And my question that I have for Dr. Mays and Dr. Hayes is, do you feel like you have made an impact on the Black community when it comes to learning about the importance of oral hygiene?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know we both have. I think that our routes are slightly different. One of the things that didn't come out when I was telling kind of how I got to where I am. My first few years, I was in private practice. So one of the things you can do in practice when you first graduate is called being an associate. You can work with someone else in their practice. You are fully licensed. You're not technically working under them per se, other than the fact that they're the owner doctor and the boss from that standpoint. But I worked the first job. I worked in Flint, Michigan, and the other one was in Detroit at the same time. So in the community and providing care, I think that then in Maryland, I worked in a GPR program in which it does treat a lot of underserved communities, and I had a private practice also in Maryland as well. And so in caring for people in underserved communities, I definitely think that I made an impact. I didn't stay there. And so now I shift how I work with people and how I make that impact. Now I make that impact by creating DrDarwins. And so people who go out and do those things. But I'll also add one more thing and close off. I do research, and one of the things that I do research in currently is social determinants of health. And so if you aren't familiar with that, those are things that are not necessarily so tangible sometimes, but impact how healthy we are, whether or not we're in a food desert or whether or not we have reasonable transportation to get to the doctors, or whether or not we have the finance or the employment and those type of things. So we're looking at that. That's my research base. So, yeah, I definitely think that I've had an impact in my own way.
Dr. Masai, did you want to add anything? He might have stepped away. We'll wait till he come back, but I'll go ahead. The impact. Yes, you make the impact in many different ways, especially if you are chair side, which I have been, and not as much now. It's more on the administrative side, but chair side, that interaction that you all will have as dental students, you'll see the impact immediately. I remember as a dental student, especially in Maryland, especially in Baltimore, if you go to the University of Maryland and patients, individuals, people see someone that looks like them, and that's you, just that in itself helps to release and calm down many people. Just by them seeing you as their oral health consultant and provider, there's an immediate connection. They still may hate the dentist, which many people do, and they'll tell you, but your communication to them and the stuff that you receive from them when they talk back to you and you have a conversation is impactful, can be impactful. Just having that conversation and knowing that they are listening to advice, recommendations that you're sharing with them, making eye contact, talking to them on their level, not using fancy words, but using words that they understand, makes an impact. Now, it doesn't mean everybody you talk to is going to follow those instructions or those recommendations, but those that do, you'll know because they're going to come back and say, hey, Dr. Hayes or Dr. Lewis or Dr. Sullivan or Dr. Kellum or Dr. Allwood, thank you so much. I really like my smile. Thank you for helping me with my pain, or thank you for that information about, coming to the dentist or coming to see you on a regular basis. So yes, we've definitely have made an impact, just like you will make that impact. And then outside of being clinical, you can be on the administrative side where Dr. Mays is now. And we are just still very tickled and excited and so happy that we have a dean of a dental school that looks like us, that's not necessarily at an HBCU. And on his side of, what he's doing as far as the team that he's leading at the dental school to produce the future of oral health professionals that are going to be disseminated and deployed through all the different cities and states throughout the U.S. to help individuals that look like us with their oral health care, which impacts their overall care. So yes, it's different ways to make impact, all of which we're currently doing, which you will be doing. That's why we're here tonight, to help and support you, because you guys are the future of oral health.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mays and Dr. Hayes. Kelly?
Good evening, everyone. I am Kelly Moling, a junior biology major, chemistry minor, and I serve as the president of the USNDA PreDental Society at Morgan. And thank you. And one of my questions is, what are some pros and cons of public versus private dentistry?
I will start. Let me start off. I see Dr. Messiah smiling because I think he already knows. Public and private dentistry. When you say public dentistry, do you mean what do you mean by that? Just so
So
I make sure.
I believe public dentistry is like you work for a corporation, correct? And private is like under like a own practice. So there's an owner of a practice and you work under that practice for private.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So some of the public dental offices are private offices, meaning there's an owner, right? There's an individual that owns the practice, and it still can be what we call a corporate dental practice, meaning it's like a dental franchise, but each of the franchises and in every of the cities is owned by an individual dentist owner, right? So that's kind of like private practice dentistry. There's also public dentistry as it relates to public health dentistry, right? There are many cities and states that have what we call federally qualified health centers, where not only dental services are provided, but medical, behavioral health, mental health, etc. Sometimes that's considered public dentistry or public health dentistry, right? Where you're practicing in those type of health centers as well. One of the differences is salary, right? There can be a big difference as it relates to what you can get paid as a private practice owner or as an associate that Dr. Mays mentioned earlier in private practice versus if you're working for maybe a state sponsored or state supported health center that has dental, medical, and behavioral health. So one significant difference could be your salary. However, there are many programs currently that you all will have access to, even as early as your D1 year, making a decision to accept a scholarship to what we call, it's called the health oh God. It's when you are able to become a health scholar, and they will pay for your dental school in exchange for you agreeing to um health service corps,
National Health
yeah,
Service Corps.
National Health Service Corps. Thank you, where they will pay for dental school, which means you can go to dental school for free, and free as in you don't have to pay $400,000 and $500,000 for dental school. You go to dental school for free in exchange for when you graduate, you would work 4 years, 3 years at a FQHC to pay back that time, but you also are going to get a salary. It just may not be the same amount that you would be if you were in private practice, right? So that's one of the advantages of the public health route of practicing dentistry as well. Anything else, Dr. Mays, Dr. Messiah, big differences?
I think this is one of the questions that somebody wrote that was submitted. I think it went along the lines. One of the things that do you think are challenging about the profession, and I think for me, and it's just my opinion, for me, this is one of them because there are a lot of people who don't get cared for because dentistry is pretty much a capitalistic enterprise, and so practitioners have to make money, and unfortunately, there are people who also don't have great insurance plans, and so that means that there are people who aren't fully getting their health needs met, and so for me, that's just a heartstring. But I think that those who go into public health will be able to reach and touch a lot of people who will not have necessarily the adequate means to pay for what we call sometimes Cadillac treatment. And it's a great way to care for people. And so I think it's a choice. And I think even if you are in a private practice kind of mode, more capitalistic mode, if you all can find a way to care for people who are on public insurance, it would be great because there's just a lot of people who have need and don't have access.
Dr. Messiah, do you want to add anything? If not, that's fine.
You want to add something? I mean, there's so many ways to look at this issue, and so I'll speak about my own journey. I'm in Manhattan. I'm in the high rent district. So what Dr. May says is we're a capitalist country, and what does that mean? That means those with the capital have advantages, right? That's the nature of the capitalist idea, right? So that's a philosophical question. He is correct, is that we need all kinds of dentists, especially in our Black and brown communities. We may have from a socioeconomic standpoint, lots of folks who look like us who need our help. Where I operate, it is financially not feasible given the cost factors of running a business to do public, to take Medicaid and those types of plans where Dr. May is talking about, right? So in my neck of the woods, you kind of have to take commercial insurance or else you won't have a viable business. The cost is so high and the reimbursement rates of public plans are way too low for it to be structurally work. I remember what Dr. Hayes says about the money you spent for school, right? And so I want to speak very clearly and honestly. I just assumed that it could work when I started out on my own, and I found out very quickly that it couldn't quite work if I wanted to be in a private practice. So what does that mean? That means you try to give in other ways. You go to you participate in charitable you participate in charitable missions. You may donate your time and energy to your community. So you try to give in other ways. But the issue, I guess, for me, because I'm in private practice, what unfortunately happens, and maybe Dr. Mason speaks to this, is that because you're doing public dental work, the skills that you have are only limited, whereas in private practice, I have the ability to spend lots of money to learn new and exciting techniques and invest in lots of new technology. And so that's one of the challenges. And so I have associates that are in public health, and really is me thinking about their flexibility later on, because what happens if you're in public health is that you are not marketable if you want to change, right? That's a piece that's uncomfortable, right? You don't have the skill sets, the practice to deal with complex issues because you're dealing with simpler issues, if you will, in a public health setting. So that's the only piece that's uncomfortable for me, is that I see some of my colleagues who took that route and then they want to change, and that becomes very difficult to make that change.
Yeah, it can be a very different practice style. And so what you have to think about is, if you have a patient who has broken a tooth and you tell them, we can extract the tooth and place an implant, place a crown, and it's going to cost you anywhere between $3,500 to $5,000 to get this finished. And they, just left the grocery store and, couldn't buy bread. they're going to tell you to extract the tooth. And so your skill set becomes tailored to kind of what the financial constraints of your patient is. And so what you are not able to do is to kind of offer them a breadth of what you're trained to do or could be trained to do because they financially can't afford it. And it's just it's a reality check. It's just right there. This is what's going to happen. And so it is just that you start to treat different things. Even sometimes, you want to make a partial denture and the person can't afford a partial denture, but they can afford an interim denture. And you'll learn that down the road, but I'll just say it's a stronger prosthesis, and will last longer. But, it could be the difference between $200 and $1,600, right? And so it's a big financial. Every decision is finance. That it's financial. It's not, doc, what's the best thing to do? That's the challenge for those patients. And so yes, if you want to practice to kind of the highest scope of what you can do, then yes, this process becomes very challenging. And so it really is just from this standpoint, it's really kind of follow your heart and kind of work in that space that you really want to kind of give back to and contribute to. I as an academic person, as a faculty member, I don't make as much money as people in private practice. But if you can see my body, you would know I'm not starving. So and I love doing what I do. I love training the Darwin Hazes and others. And so so I'm happy. I make very good money. And so the gap between what I can make in academics and what somebody can make in private practice doesn't bother me because I'm doing something that brings me joy. And so I think you have to think about those things. And for some, it's like, look, I love doing these big complex cases. And, therefore, yeah, you have to be in spaces in which people can afford big complex cases. That's really kind of what it comes down to. I don't think it's a right or wrong. It's just that we do have a big problem in the health system in America. And as long as we have the kind of space that we do, it's going to always be there. But I think you have to follow, your heart as far as where you want to be and how you want to give back.
We have an awesome discussion going on. We have about 4 more minutes though. And I see there are 3 hands raised and 1 question in the chat. So Isaiah, Christina, and then Andrea. And then we will answer the question in the chat as well.
Okay. So I'm interested in knowing what it's been like for you all navigating this profession as Black men, and how you all have been able to do so successfully.
Oh my goodness, we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But Dr. Mays is involved with a project. He spearheaded a project that addresses and answers that question, future student Dr. Isaiah, about Black men and how we have navigated this space over, I don't know, what's it been, probably the last 50 years or 60 years, maybe even a little bit longer. I'll have Dr. Mays talk about it real quick. Talk about the book.
Yeah. Don't worry, you guys getting the books, Mrs. Battle. I'm gonna send you some copies. So yeah, we have a project. We're the second compilation. Last year, there was a book called Undaunted Trailblazers, Women and Minority Health. We're coming out with Undaunted Trailblazers 2, and it's the men's version. And so we're hoping to have that imprint released by March of next year. So we're working really, really hard. We have approximately 30 gentlemen who are sharing their stories and how they went from wherever to what they're doing. A variety of stories, amazing stories. Some people in public health, some people in academics, some people in military, some people in private practice. just as one of the editors, I get to read the stories. They're just phenomenal. So it's 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 one day at a time, brother. It's one day at a time. And you have to have thick skin, and you have to keep your eye on the prize. You have to bite your lip some days, and then you have the other days tell people where they need to go in the most professional and polite way as you can. Because people do come at you, and some people need to be backed up in a professional way, but backed up. You have to understand that, like many things in this world, the the psychological bent is not for people of color, right? We have this skew that the Caucasian perspective is the right perspective, and so when you come into the process, we have to start by understanding that this is the predilection. They don't believe you belong there, and so but you have to understand that you do. And one of my desires to be here and why I wanted to be here, I'm you all. Okay? I'm Morgan Made. So, you can do it. And it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. And one of the other people who couldn't come on tonight, Roxanne Clark Howell, she's a Morgan grad and a Maryland grad. So, you can get there, no matter what. And that's the whole point. Whatever somebody throws at you, man, you just got to figure out how you navigate it. And one of the big ways you do is that you have to have Dr. Hayes in your right pocket or in your corner. You have to have Dr. Messiah in your corner. I made it through because of Glasson Davis, who I mentioned before, Gerald Owens from Detroit, Leo Rouse from DC, Lonnie Norris from Boston, Lee Jones from Michigan, Marilyn Woolfolk, Gene Singford, and on and on and on and on. If I get hit by anything, I have somebody I can call.
Right.
And I learned that at Morgan. There were many days it wasn't good. I just bounced in Dr. Cecil Payton's office and had a conversation. So, it's about community. It's about creating your community.
Yep.
And it's creating the environment that you need to thrive. Understanding that, some days you're going to be in places that don't look like you. I just walked across campus, and I swear 50 people. I didn't see anybody like me. But that you find out how you have to navigate and how you have to live in those places.
And I was just going to add, you navigate through networking. Can't stress that enough. You navigate through networking, meaning no man, no woman is an island. We are all interdependent on one another somehow, some way. That's why you guys reached out to Miss Battle and the leaders and say, hey, we need to have a discussion to talk about getting into dental school. That's why they reached out to Dr. Mays. That's what Dr. Mays reached out to me. I reached out to Dr. Messiah and a couple of other people that couldn't be here, especially some students that are at Maryland right now. But you navigate through networking. You cannot be afraid to ask questions. You cannot be afraid to ask for help. If you guys don't learn anything else tonight, you have to ask for help. The smartest pre-dental student, the smartest Morgan grad, the smartest dentist is the one that asks for help. You're supposed to ask for help. Who cares about what someone's going to think about if you asking for help? That's not your business. Your business is getting the help that you need, getting your questions answered. All right? And you do that through networking and connecting with people to get the information so that you can navigate from A to Z and then back from Z to A. But you can't do it by yourself, and don't even think that you can. I know some of y'all might think, oh, well, I don't need to do it. I can look on social media. I can figure it out. Okay, good luck with that. utilize the resources and the people and the connections that you have. And if you don't have some, then you got some work to do because you got a network. All of you all should be going to the NDA, SNDA National Convention every year. If you're serious about going and becoming a dentist and also going to dental school, there are so many people that you all haven't even met yet that you need to meet that have so many answers to questions that you haven't even asked yet. But you have to get connected and put yourself in a place where people can pour into you to help you navigate this profession and this life as well.
Awesome. So it's 6:34 right now. So we'll take the two last questions and then we'll wrap it up. Panelists, I'm hoping you're okay with spending just a few more time to answer the two students' questions. Okay, thank you. Christina and then Andrea.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Christina and I'm a junior biology major at Morgan. And I just wanted to know, from you guys' perspective, is the job as physically demanding and like time consuming as people make it to be? Because I know, like, for me, when I get to that point, I do want to have my foot in other businesses. And, I just don't want medicine to be like, my end all be all. So how are you guys managing like the stress of being a dentist and working in the office?
Woo! We don't have enough time for that question either, but Miss Bell, we definitely got to have a part 2, 3, 4. I don't know, quarterly, about twice a year or something.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, but it is physically demanding. I still have. I mean, I don't practice as much as I did maybe 7 years ago, but I still have cricks in my neck that were initiated from bad posture or always sitting or just structure behind and delivering clinical care, right? As far as stress, I mean, if you're above ground, you're gonna have some stress, right? So it's all about how. I hope y'all got that. If you're living above ground, yeah. So hopefully you all are doing things even right now as pre-dental students to help you manage the rigors of being a student, being a college student, right? You need time out. Put yourself in time out. Right? Sometimes you have to go outside for a long walk. Enjoy, look at the clouds, look at the trees, look at the people walking by. Sometimes you have to go work out. Sometimes some people do meditation. Some people do Peloton. Some people like to socialize, like to go out to dinner and just try out different foods. That's how you manage stress or things that you feel like you can't control or you feel like you have a predisposition for worry or just things that you're handling. Put yourself in timeout. That's one of the ways that you handle the stresses of being a dental student, pre-dental student, and even as a dentist. You have to find time. You have to intentionally, that's what I should say. You have to intentionally find time for yourself. Whether it's dentistry or any other profession, you still got to find time for yourself. So I'll add that.
And Morgan students, so that Morgan has their wellness days. This is something built into the calendar recently, I think after COVID, where you can take that day. There are no classes. Your professor shouldn't be giving you any assignments. It's just a day for you to take to yourself. It's about 3 days each semester. So we are trying to build that into your habits of just taking some time for yourself to relax and to embrace wellness. Andrea.
Hello. Unfortunately, I cannot take myself off of, on camera, because I'm driving. But I'm a current dental hygienist. I'm a senior, or I like to think of myself as a senior plus at Morgan. I have a lot of credits. So my question is kind of a two-parter. A lot of people tend to think, and this kind of touches on the stress factor, why are suicide rates so high for dentists? Why is that? And the other part to my question is, DSOs. How do you guys feel about DSOs? Would you recommend a dental student just coming out, heading to a DSO to get, kind of boots on the ground?
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for the suicide, but I think that the challenges in many professions, and ours is, you care for people, and so you hear people's problems, you care for people's needs, and you can care for people so much that you don't do due diligence care for yourself. And so I think there's a need to be just deeply aware of that. That's just a healthcare provider issue that, you spend all day caring for people, and you don't care enough for yourself. So I think that's just one of the things that's important. The DSO question is mixed, and so I think there are some reasonable DSOs and there's some unreasonable DSOs, and part of that is because of the business model, for some. And so some can get into a situation where they're maybe upcharging or overcharging or over treatment planning, and therefore increasing kind of the cost of care. But there are others in which they're just have a super good business model. And I think one of the things that's challenging, I think Dr. Messiah was the one who mentioned the, for some graduates, when you graduate, you can have really big debt from loans. And so the DSOs can provide a very, very reasonable starting salary. And so that's just a real, it's just a truth. I think in general for me it's mixed. I have a hard time locking in on, like DSOs are just bad, bad, bad. I think you have to look at each one and kind of figure out if it has any kind of fit into your life and what you're trying to do.
Let's see. How can I combine the two real quick? Suicide. That was Andrea, right?
Yes,
Andrea, and you said you're a dental hygienist?
I am. I'm a dental hygienist.
You're practicing in Maryland?
I'm licensed in Maryland and in DC.
Okay, cool. So on the flip side of maybe some offices that you're working at, you will see how the business of dentistry is conducted, right? I think one of the reasons, and again, I'm no expert on why dentists are highest in of the professions that commit suicide. I'm sure you can find, you can Google and find some more evidence-based information. But I think one of the reasons that could be and could explain why this happens is due to the whole notion of overwhelm, meaning things are just so overwhelming, right? Especially as a dentist who's not trained in business. When you come out of dental school, just like you come out of hygiene school, you're an educator, but also you're a clinician, you're a technician. There ain't no MBA in dental school. Ain't no business acumen and skills that you're learning in dental school. There's not enough time, and dental schools don't necessarily have it as a majority of their curriculum. Just don't. However, when you come out as a hygienist, when you come out as a dentist, you come out and go into the business of dentistry. Yes, it's a profession, but it's a business. Like Dr. Messiah said, there's a lot of immediate business decisions that have to be made, especially if you want to have your own practice, your own office, right? Now, outside of the student debt, even though, well, no, let's include the student debt because that's part of the overwhelm. You've got anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 in student debt. You want to come out and buy a practice. If you want to do it from scratch, or if you want to buy an existing practice, maybe just for number's sake, another $500,000. That's $1 million that you are in debt. It's good debt, but it's still debt. Now you have to run a business, not just see patients and help people with their oral health care, not just be an oral health consultant clinically, but you have to run a business, your business, hire people, make sure you're following the regulations for infection control, being in charge of a profit and loss balance sheet, to the point where if you haven't had enough training, you may feel overwhelmed or underwater. And most people who can't swim or can't swim adequate enough because they don't have enough business acumen or training or exposure or experience, what do? They can drown, or they can take their life because they feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. That could be one explanation why you've heard so many stories about dentists and the suicide rate. And most of them probably have not asked for help. We talked about the importance of asking for help, right? DSOs real quick. They're not going anywhere, right? They're not going anywhere because DSOs are into the business of dentistry. Yeah. There are many family practices, solo practitioner offices, or one dentist offices that cannot compete with the business acumen / models that many of these corporate dental offices have. And when we say corporate, we really mean corporations or entities that have enormous access to cash flow. There are things that me and Dr. Messiah, when we both had our practices, so as solo practitioners, there's access to money that we don't have, that DSOs and other Fortune 500 companies have, to allow them to fund their payroll on a weekly basis, regardless if you're seeing patients and getting money in your office. A lot of small businesses don't have access to those types of funds without a lot of additional obligations and stress and things like that. So the DSOs are not going anywhere because they know, as a business model, oral health is profitable. In some cases, it's more profitable than owning a restaurant and other types of business. The profit margins are such that they are able, through their business acumen, they're able to make oral health delivery a profitable business. That's not going anywhere, because part of the reason is, as dentists, we're not trained as business professionals, and they've been able to take advantage of that over the course of time. Plus, again, you've got the stress of opening up an office, $500,000, $600,000 plus your debt. I'm maxed out. As a new dentist coming out, I'm maxed out. And I haven't even started yet. I haven't even seen my first patient yet. I got a new office. I got to hire all this staff, and I got $400,000 in debt. Woo!
Yeah.
So some of the answers there.
So you would recommend a new dental, a recent graduate?
I'll say there's options. So the thing the doctor had mentioned is this is I think this is a business personal kind of choice thing. So like if you're coming out and you have high debt, you might want to pay some debt down before you go into try to have your own practice. So what people do is that they will do an associateship. They'll work in somebody else's office. They may work for a DSO. You know, they may do loan repayment. There's simple things that people can do to take a few years. I knew somebody, a really good thing, where he worked in an office that was maybe 20 miles away from where he wanted to open a practice. He did that for about 4 years. And then he and his wife opened a practice in the community where he wanted to work. He worked there, continued part-time for maybe 2 years until the practice got off the ground. So these are kind of business decisions and things that you have to really, really think and be critical about. You can still get to the pathway of having a practice if that's what you want, but you got to think about how you're getting there, and you got to manage that debt, not kind of double down on it.
So Andrew, it's not a yes and it's not a no.
Gotcha. Thank you for your perspective.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, analysts. Thank you, students. We went over just a tad bit. I think we need to do this again because I know I see Kelly shaking her head. Yes. We'll plan something out either for this semester or next semester because I still have a list of questions that our e-board submitted. I will send that out to to the panelists, and I saw there was a message in the chat as well, but I will send that out to the panelists as well. Thank you all very much for participating. Panelists, students, thank you all very much for coming out. My office is in Key Hall 168. Please follow our social media page. Kelly, what's the handle for Instagram again?
Our Instagram account is Morgan USNDA. Please follow us. Please join. Thank you all for coming, panelists. We really appreciate it.
I'm glad to see all of you because this is the future of oral health. So I'm glad you all are here. I'm glad you all are interested.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see the people that I can't see. That's okay. I see your names. I better see your names.
Next time, Doctor.
Next time the cameras will be on.
Yeah. There you go. Here we go. Now you're coming on.
Students, I just dropped a link in the chat. If you can fill that out for me, please, so I can shoot you an email with some more information. But thank you all very much, and I will see you all next time.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Miss Battle, I'm going to put a link in the chat of my YouTube page that may be a good resource for some of the students, so they can start to network, but also implement some of the tips, recommendations that have been shared by other previous pre-dental students that are now dental students.
Okay.
I'm just going to put that in chat just so YouTube.
And for the students who are still here, I'm going to send out Dr. May's email as well to everyone. So hopefully everyone fills out that form so I can get your information.
I don't think this. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do this.
Kelly, can you post the YouTube?
Hey, this is Dr. Darwin, the new dentist coach. Thank you so much.
You got it.
For coming on.
You got it.
Okay.
Oh, it did go through. Okay. That's okay. There is a playlist just for or featuring just for dental students. Getting into dental school is the playlist.
Okay.
There's probably about, I don't know, 100 some videos in there of students and their journeys, how they prepare their application, how they prepare for the DAT, the resources that they use, all of that information. Additionally, if you all are not familiar with two organizations that are like pipeline programs for pre-dental students, you should definitely disseminate that information. One of them is called I Did. Have you heard of I Did, Ms. Battle or Kelly?
No, I haven't.
It's called Increasing Diversity in Dentistry.
Oh, I think I follow their Instagram.
Okay, good. Follow their Instagram, but you're what year?
I'm a junior.
Junior, okay. I know they take scholars, they take applications for scholars. I don't know if there's a cutoff. Like, I don't know if you can be a senior. I don't know if you have to be a sophomore or junior. But I would go on their website,
Okay.
idid.org. Great resource. Share that with the membership. Many of those scholars go on to not only get to dental school, but they also are good friends and they are helping each other get through dental school. Because getting to dental school is easy. Like I was telling Isaiah and I were talking about this other night. It's hard, but it's easy in comparison to getting through.
Right.
Right. So that's one resource. The other resource is called DIDM, which is Diversity in Dentistry Mentorships. Colleague of mine who's a pediatric dentist, she founded the nonprofit organization. Again, it's similar to the IDID program, pipeline program. They're based out of Phoenix, Tucson area of Arizona, but they have scholars and mentees from all over the country. That's the program that future student Dr. Isaiah just I referred to, and he's been working and networking with people in that program as well. They have a lot of programming. They're very active on social media, Instagram. Definitely something that I would recommend. I mean, you don't have to be from the West Coast to be part of that mentorship program because it's a national program or a nationwide program. The what's the website? I would just Google diversity and dentistry mentorships, and their homepage would come up. Again, another resource that I would strongly recommend that pre-dental students there at Morgan enroll in their mentorship program and their programmatic activities as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for all these resources. I will share them with our members, and I'm going to email them to you, Dr. Battle, too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Isaiah just put it in the chat. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That's
Isaiah.
the link. Great resource. They have stuff going on all the time. Great resource. And maybe at some point, I know the students at Maryland, I know from past experience, they have interacted with the PreDental Society. I don't know who the current president is, but I know a couple of the students that are there as D1s, D3s, and one's there as she's going through her ortho residency. But any opportunities that they extend to you all as a group, I would definitely strongly recommend that you just drop everything except for an exam or something and participate. You know, they have that Impressions Day. They also have some community service activities that pre-dental students can participate in. There may even be some shadowing opportunities. And then also there's a whole list of former Maryland graduates that are in Maryland, licensed dentists, specialists, pediatric dentists, oral surgeons, general dentists, etc., that may not realize that you all are looking for some help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you don't ask, that the answer is always going to be no.
Right.
We did have a mentorship program with them, but I haven't heard back from them. So I'm going to reach out to them again to start that.
Yeah, Dr. Tammy Gant at one time was the president of the NDA, the National Dental Association's Maryland chapter. I don't know if that was your contact person.
It was from the University of Maryland, Baltimore, the dental school. But I'll look back and see if we could get back out to them.
I know in October, either October or November, the Maryland chapter of the NDA always has a joint meeting. They have their joint fall meeting at the dental school with the dental students.
Okay.
You all need to go to that meeting. so you can meet some people and network. Y'all not studying all the time. Y'all not partying all the time. Y'all can go right on down to the harbor, close to the harbor, and go to that meeting and start networking and meeting some folks. But Tammy Grant.
Oh, Grant. Okay.
Grant, I'm sorry. She's got a classmate. Her last name is Gant. So I'm getting them mixed up. Hold on one second. Let me just give that contact information. Her and her ex-husband are both dentists, and they have a daughter who just graduated from Howard Dental School 2 years ago. Tammy, hold on, let me give you this number because this is an important number because I'm sorry, Tammy. Well, I'm sorry, Gant was her married name. Her last name is Doolin.
Oh, Dr. Doolin. We know her.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
We know
Hello.
her.
You better know her. Shoot. Yeah. You need to call her up. Say, hey, Dr. Doolin. Hello. We still here. We still up here. We still got pre-dental students trying to get dental school. Hello.
Yes, she actually some of our members shadow at her office. So yes, we know her really well.
There you go. Well, contact her. Find out when the joint meeting at the dental school is going to be. So just say, Dr. Hayes said you need to invite us. She'll start laughing. But y'all need to go. You need to go to at least network and meet some people because there are going to be people in that meeting that are not only just from Baltimore but other parts of Maryland that can be a resource for you all to shadow and start developing some relationships because you all gonna need some people to write letters of recommendation. Miss Battle can't do all them letters by herself.
Yes, thank
Yeah, she can't do it by herself. She need help too.
But thank you very much, Dr. Hayes. This is, it's a wealth of information. I want to invite you back though, if you're willing.
Invite me back. Yep.
Okay.
I've got a couple of dental students that I reached out to that are at Maryland now, but they couldn't come on because they had their own webinar tonight, I think. But there's a couple of students that are really into giving back and don't mind sharing their journeys, right?
Okay.
There's one guy that's there that got like a 30 on the DAT. Yeah, that's what I said. A 30. So y'all definitely need to talk to him quick.
Absolutely.
Quick. All right. Well, anytime you got my information, let's get a part 2, 3, 4, whatever y'all need.
I don't have your email, Dr. Hayes. I don't think I have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat. When's homecoming?
Next week, Saturday.
Yeah.
Next Saturday. Okay. There you go. I know there's some dentists that are coming to homecoming because one of them was supposed to be on the call tonight, but she couldn't make it. She had some work being done at her house still. But just know. Oh, actually, Miss Battle, you may know Dr. Bonnie Stanley. Hey, do you know Dr. Stanley?
Well, via email. So she emailed me last week about meeting during homecoming because she will be here on Friday, I think, before homecoming. So we have to schedule our meeting.
Yeah. I know she's, we've been talking about this around the same time that Dr. Mays had been talking to the school president. The university president, not the student body president, about what we're doing right now, right? To re-engage with the university to help expand and develop the pre-dental society. So hopefully we'll have more of these to build upon to kind of expand and help those that are looking to make this journey.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye bye.
Take care.